you're down to your last million, struggling to pay the bills, learning how to turn off to save. Trying to tell me it's hard. You've never walked in my shoes, trying to make my $50 last 2 months, struggling to pay my rent, begging even for rice. You wouldn't know what it's like. You've always had money, grabbing from the money tree. You never had to be in life for food. You didn't even know what it's like to be barefoot. You're crying because you can't afford the $1,000 plate. I'm crying because I can't afford the cheapest packet of rice. I'm begging for a pay rise, but so is everyone else, working my ass just to make ends meet. You're burning money with a lighter. I'm just trying to use a lighter to keep me warm. My power's been off for days. Can't remember the last time I had decent food. Had to stay with family, but I'm burning bridges just for safety. You wouldn't even know what it's like. You've always had money, always grabbing from the money tree. You never had to be in line for food. You don't even know what it's like to be barefoot. You're crying because you can't afford that $1,000 plate. I'm crying because I can't afford the cheapest packet of rice. Don't tell me you know what it's like to suffer. You've always had money. You were always given your first $100 the day you were born. You don't even know what it's like to be poor. Being ashamed to leave your property, having your children being bullied for their looks, bringing a plastic bag as a school bag, wearing uniform sizes too small, eating lunch that not even you'd eat, sometimes even going without food. We know what it's like begging for scraps. We're done our time. We've never asked for pay rises. We never asked for pay cuts. You wouldn't even know what it's like. You've always had money, grabbing from the money tree. You've never had to be in line for food. You don't even know what it's like to be barefoot. You're crying because you can't afford that $1,000 plate. I'm crying because I can't afford the cheapest packet of rice. Money tree. Oh, I remember writing money tree. So July last year, so July 2019, I read an article, or was it hearing a news segment? Either way, same point. About politicians getting a pay cut, but they were losing like $1,000 off their pay. And I remember reading or seeing about this particular politician who had to lose $1,000 and then crying because they're like, oh, now we have to learn how to save, and I'm teaching the kids how to turn power off. Sorry, how to turn power off after every time they leave the room. We can't afford our electricity anymore. And it's like, excuse me, you're a politician. You've just lost $1,000 from your $10 million cut of money. You don't even know what it's like to be poor. Christ's sake, shut up and go cry in your money tree. You know, I mean, technically, oh, I went up there. Technically, I don't know what it's like to be poor. And I say that because I'm like middle class or average, whatever you want to call it. But there are people out there who can't even rub 5 cents together to afford food. They can't even afford the cheapest packet of rice. They can't afford home brand goods. But yet politicians have the nerve to whinge that they can't afford $1,000 plate of food. I just don't get politicians. I don't understand why you would whinge over losing $1,000. That's $1,000. You still got 10 million. There's people out here living on the streets and you're still going, oh, I can't afford. Yeah. It's like, dude, you've got a money tree in the back of your freaking yard. No one else has that luxury except for you. Don't sit here acting like you know what it's like to be us when really you don't. I don't know what it's like to be us. I don't know what it's like to be a person who's homeless. I don't know what it's like to, you know, count my money. Yes, to some extent I have the luxury of being privileged when it comes to money. But at the same time, I'm also really dumb. And I don't understand a lot of things. I don't understand why we're choosing to whinge. Actually, why we're choosing to let a politician whinge about their lack of money when there is a person on the street who's been begging for $2 just so they can keep themselves warm, so they can, you know what it's like to have the grass of money for a few minutes. It's just dumbfounds me. Even when you read articles about the newest billionaire, why would you be a billionaire? Why? Why are you so proud to be a billionaire? What are you going to do with it? Go bury it in a backyard and hope it grows? And then you can pass it down to your children? So they'll never understand what it's like to appreciate the value of money. I mean, I could keep this video going on and keep whinging because it's something I don't have the concept to understand why people go, I can't afford $1,000 plate of food, but I've still got $10 million in my bank account. I'm gonna leave it on that note because I could go on forever, like I said, and I think I'm starting to lose my voice now because I'm shutting into the void. So on that note, go screw the reals. Yeah. Scratch that. Remove that. Go screw the world's richest person because they clearly don't care about anybody beneath them.